Hello, welcome back. And let's look at the sample solution now for exercise number 2. We're looking at the code here in the program that we have here as a sample code. I just wanted to mention another thing that I didn't mention before, that even if it's a normal program like this, you on the left hand side in the Explorer view here, you have like a hierarchical view of the things that are found in there. So for instance, okay, for instance, want to see I have method implementations, derived instance, I can jump to it right away. So the workbench parses the source code here and then knows which elements are in there and how to jump to it. So, but that was just a little comment about the tool. So let's look at the code. We wanted to have do an instance management with static methods. So we see the class definition again. We added create private. Then we have some class method. Actually, one, the get instance, which creates an instance if it doesn't exist yet for the given string here. And then also passing tank capacity and consumption. And then the other methods stay the same. So instead of doing create object, we have to now always call get instance. And to do the instance management, of course, we would have some way to remember which instances we created for which key, and therefore we have a table. And first we define a type here, type car instance. It's a local type. You can see that you can define types and all kinds of things as well in the private section. So pretty much everything that you can define anywhere as a conceptual element in an ABAP program, you can define also in the sections here of classes. And of course, this is a local type that is only visible inside the class and can only be used inside the class. And so what is in it in the row type, you see the name type string and object reference that refers to instances of LCL car. And here you have the instance table of, and this is the row type with the default key. The default key is of course the name. And then we have the instance attributes that again each instance has. So maybe this is a little confusing, but basically if you have a big class maybe with some static attributes and instance attributes, it's maybe nice also to comment it and say, okay, this is the static attributes section, and here we have the normal instance attributes, so as not to get confused, because sometimes this little class and data may be the difference overlooked. Okay, so now let's look at the implementations and see how this works. The key, really, what this is all about is the get instance, because that's the only method that changed here in the class. And you can see here, so we first have a instance reference variable. Actually, sorry, this is the row type. So the car instance is a row type of the local type that's defined here. And I set the name to the name I'm looking for. Remember, the iname is the name that I'm going in with to create this new object. And then I do a read table to see if there is already an entry with this name as a key. If it is found, then I'll just set the instance to the object reference that is also stored in the car instance, which is, of course, the work area. So here you read it into the work area car instance. That's maybe look confusing, but this is like an idiom that's often used, that this is the table name and this is the work area. Some also prefix the work area with WA underscore to make the distinction clearer. But this, of course, then is the work area and the object reference. And else, if you don't have an instance yet, then you have to create one, of course. And this is the else case where you do an actual create object. And since we're inside the class, this is allowed, of course. And then, since you have the object right here, you can set all the attributes as before. And now, of course, you also want to store the instance in the table. So you set the object reference to the new instance created here. This is that, which incidentally also is the result variable, of course. So we're just using that directly here. And then you want to append, of course, the work area, so the new instance and its name to the instance management table, so that next time when this thing is called, you will be able to find it. So this is really all about the car implementation. The get instance implementation, and really all the other methods stay the same. And you just see a little difference in the usage of the class. So here we see that instead of a create object, we have now calling a class method, local LCL car get instance. We talked about this before. This is the class name, double arrow get instance, a class method, and you specify it in. So here you get it, and then this is the resulting instance, and you put it you put it in the VW Golf, which is the variable, which is a reference to the LCL car. And as an assertion, so you see a few here, and here we do VW Golf twice, as you can see here. So we have one variable VW Golf here, and the second one VW Golf same. We say it the same because we want it to be the same, and we wanted to make sure it is. So even if we would, it's kind of confusing. So in the API, it's not perfect. If we would specify different values here, you would wonder, who is winning? Is it overwritten even if you use the same key? So in that way, it's kind of a bad API design. But this is only to really show the classic methods, the static methods, the class methods. So what we really want to assert, this is what this exercise is about, that this instance VW Golf and VW Golf same is really the same. And so this is what we're going to say here. The Golf is the same as Golf same, which means I got the same instance here, and I also, as an example, want to make sure it's not all the same, and I got at least two different ones. So I have Golf is not equal to Hummer, or I could do the same with Porsche, but we assume, okay, when at least it's not creating the same object all the time, then that works, and then we want to make sure that if you specify the same key, you get the same object. So this is also an example for what we will be doing in the ASE course, is what is a good level of unit testing, what do you really need to test to cover the cases that are relevant. So if you write something to make sure that what you wrote is okay, think about the assertions that you need to really check that. So this is the end of this section. Again, it was all about the get instance and the usage of class attributes and class methods. And I think from now on you should be able to do that.